Getting enough sleep is crucial to your well-being, but when you have a little baby, you can find yourself being woken up a lot in the night. You can also find yourself exhausted and sleep deprived. Over time, this can have a negative impact on all areas of your life. So in this video, I'm going to share 7 top tips to help your baby to sleep better during the night and the day, so you can get more rest and more sleep. If we haven't met before, hello and welcome. My name's Anja and I'm a hypnobirthing practitioner. On my YouTube channel, you'll find videos and audios to support you on your motherhood journey. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon so you don't miss my weekly videos. I bring out a new one every single Tuesday. So my first tip is to make sure that your baby is sleeping in a cool room. So babies sleep best in rooms that are between 65 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's about 18 to 21 degrees Celsius. A room thermometer is a good thing to have, so you don't have to guess whether or not the room is too hot or too cold. If you can't regulate the temperature of the room that your baby's sleeping in, it's just important that you dress your baby appropriately. So put on layers of clothing or take off layers of clothing according to how hot or how cold the room is. Today, many babies sleep in sleeping bags, and sleeping bags come with a checklist telling you what your baby should be wearing according to the tog of the sleeping bag and the temperature of the room. To find out which sleeping bags I recommend for babies, please click the link in the video description below. My next tip is to make sure that the room that your baby is sleeping in is dark, and the room needs to be dark enough so that you wouldn't be able to read a book or a magazine. Now, when your baby's really small, it's important for them to sleep in a dark room so that when they're in a period of light waking, they're not going to be stimulated by anything in the room which could cause them to wake up fully. Then when your baby's between 3 and 5 months old, it's important for them to stay sleeping in a dark room because they're going to start developing their own circadian rhythm and their own internal body clock. They'll also begin to produce the hormone melatonin. So when your baby falls asleep in a dark room, they'll produce more melatonin, which will help them to relax and fall asleep, as well as stay asleep for longer. My third tip is to make sure that the room that your baby's sleeping in is quiet. So babies are easily stimulated by everything that's going on around them, including noise, because everything is so new to them. They also have a startle reflex, so loud noises can make them jump. And if they are about to fall asleep or they're in a period of light sleep, any loud noises will startle them and could cause them to wake up. Now, I'm not saying that your baby's room needs to be completely silent because that's near on impossible to achieve. What I am saying is that any noise in your baby's room needs to be low in volume and consistent. You might want to invest in a white noise machine that plays continuously whilst your baby's asleep. Examples of white noise include rainfall, a shower, a waterfall, or radio static. And the reason that continuous white noise is so effective at helping babies to fall asleep and stay asleep is because the sounds mimic the noises that your baby heard in the womb. So when they hear any white noise, it's going to soothe and comfort them and help them to stay asleep for longer. If you'd like to try using some white noise before investing in a white noise machine, you can check out my free white noise for baby sleep audios on my YouTube channel. I'll link them in the video description below. Many babies respond really well to being swaddled. Swaddling can keep your baby nice and warm, and the security of it can feel like being in the womb. If you are going to swaddle your baby, it's just important to dress them according to the room temperature, because if your baby overheats, that can increase the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Many parents find that swaddling their babies with their arms down and wrapped up is best, because that prevents the startle reflex from being triggered when lifting a baby in and out of their cot. To find out which swaddles I recommend, please click the link in the video description below. I just wanted to point out here that when your baby is close to rolling over, you don't want to be placing them in swaddles anymore. They're going to need to have their arms and their hands free so that they can get out of certain positions and they don't get trapped. So when they're close to rolling over, I recommend sleeping bags rather than swaddles. My fifth tip is to keep your baby's sleep environment boring and not stimulating. And this is especially important during the night if you're woken up to feed your baby or change their nappy. So at night time, to help your baby to settle back to sleep, it's important that you teach them that you're not there to play with them, have fun with them or entertain them. You're going to attend to their needs and then they need to go back to sleep because it's night time. It's also important to keep the lights turned down low in the room that you're in. So you might want to invest in a plug-in night light to keep the room dark, but not so dark that you can't see what you're doing. My next tip is to understand your baby's sleep cycles. So all babies enter sleep by going into a state of light sleep to begin with, and then eventually they'll enter a state of deep sleep. Now the issue with light sleep is that you can often think that your baby is about to wake up or cry. They might be fussing, wriggling around, making noises, but their eyes are closed. But this can be really confusing for new parents because they think, oh, my baby's about to wake up anyway, I might as well get them out of their cot, start feeding them or changing their nappy. But actually they're in a state of light sleep and they could have stayed asleep for longer and entered a deep sleep, but you're rousing them from this light sleep and interrupting their sleep cycle. So only pick up your baby if they're actually awake with their eyes open. So your baby will usually communicate with you if they need something. So they'll cry if they're hungry, need their nappy changed, or want to see you because they've woken up, they've had enough sleep and they're not tired anymore. And my final tip is to avoid an overtired baby. So in the early weeks and months after your baby's been born, they're going to need to sleep every 45 minutes to 2 hours. So it's important for you to look out for cues from your baby which suggest that they need to sleep. So signs of a tired baby are rubbing their eyes, turning their head away from you, yawning, or zoning out and staring into space. When you notice these cues, it's important to try and create an environment that's as quiet, dark and cosy as possible so that your baby can sleep. If your baby gets overtired, it can be harder to get them to sleep. They can start crying and become really, really fussy. So that's why it's important that you are aware of your baby displaying any cues of tiredness so that you can settle them before they get overtired. Thanks so much for watching this video today. I hope that you found it helpful. Please let me know in the comments section beneath this video which tips worked best to get your baby to sleep. Take care and see you again soon.